Hello everyone. Welcome to a mini robot party for this week or weekend or this moment in time where we'll be sharing our robots. Yes, robots now. So we had a few technical difficulties with getting everything sort of working both computer-wise and robot-wise. So sorry for the delay. But nonetheless, there are robots here now, and oh my gosh, my computer just started to freak out again. Okay, so, oh no, please don't crash. Okay, phew. Alright, so first off, we'll start with Aaron and see what robots he has.
Okay, can you hear me?
Sort of distant.
See, how about now?
Still distant, like you're in space.
You may want to. Like I said, I didn't have. I forgot about this, and then my computer beeped at me. So
Yep,
I'll
we
try.
can hear you now.
Or are there more than one errands here? So I'll just go real quick. These are the main ones I've been working on. I'll be showing them at Albuquerque Mini Maker Fair, and they're little walking Jansen linkages. And since my audio's down, I'll pass from there.
Oh, we can hear you just fine now.
Oh, okay.
Keep going, keep going. Let's see this robot.
All right. Yeah, again, because I was just working on other things this morning and my computer beeped. Let me see if I can get this in there. I have it listed on my website, and I'll show that. And this one, it's not charged. I need to get my phone to run it, but it's the big issue is that I made this Jansen linkage and have optimized it and customized it for these little walking robots here. And I'm working right now on a 3D printer to print a 3D printed version of this design, and they're all available for free at boim.com.
Cool. So the robot you're showing, it's all laser cut?
Yeah, that one's the laser cut version. I actually started with a 3D printed version I made at our local hackerspace, and now I'm building my own 3D printer because they do take about 20 hours to print.
Wow. So why would you want to 3D print one rather than laser cut one?
They tend to be lighter, and it seems like a lot of people have 3D printers right now, so that'll get it spread out. Yeah, at first I'm not really trying to make any money with these things, so I'm trying to just maximize, it's for marketing, so I'm trying to get them out there to see if people would, be interested in other things we're doing at QLab here in Albuquerque.
So you're trying to get more people to join your hackerspace?
Yeah, in general, and also just to be using this particular robot design and get some feedback on it, So my goal for this design is really to make it available to as many people as possible.
Huh, cool. So how so once people have this robot that is available, then what do they do with it?
My intent is really just to be the chassis design. I do have full robots with remote control and things that people can do, but the main contribution I'm really working on for this little walking, it's the walking chassis. Simple tank controls, typical robot tank controls, but it's got the legs which work nicely on some surfaces, less nicely on others, I guess. But they definitely look neat. So.
Cool. So what powers it inside, or what controls it?
Your basic Arduino, just right now an Uno or a Mini, and I have the software posted, and I'm using a freely available open source Android app called CXEM Car. I also have a copy of that posted on my website. It was not intended for this robot, so I intend to at some point learn Android development and and make a more customized, smoother app for driving these particular simple tank robots. I have a Dalek, made out of a wheelchair and things that all use the same interface.
Wow.
Was that Boing, BOING.com?
No, BOIM is in man.com, and it's very simple right now. I just moved to DreamHost, and I haven't really figured out, but there's links to everything. And again, you can contact me or come back if you want resources you can't find. My intent is that everything's public, including the optimization algorithm.
It looks good. My problem with 3D parts is I've been having the layer laminate, so make sure you design the legs pretty beefy.
Yeah, are you on PLA?
I'm on ABS right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, my printer's PLA. The lab has ABS, and the ABS has been better for that, but it's kind of trickier to work with because of the shrinkage. But yeah. So I'm we'll see how it goes.
Very cool.
Well, I'll give it a try when you get the files up.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're up, but I'll update them because I just did another optimization, so I need to. I'll get those updated before the end of the day. All right.
Anyone else have any questions or ideas or comments? Feel free to join in whenever you want. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Aaron, for showing off that cool robot, and good luck with your 3D printer build.
Yeah,
oh my
thanks.
gosh, those aren't robots; they're real-life animals.
Yeah, so I don't know. My head's a mess, and I still haven't showered this morning, so I'll let you look at the birds instead of me.
Okay.
Oh, you should have said they were electronics that you 3D printed. You could have fooled us.
Yeah, totally. All right, next up, let's go to Raymond. Let's see your robot.
That's her. Do you see her?
Yeah.
So that's River. I took my time out for my own robot building, so I just got a now. And
Wow.
she's going to be my best friend. Well, unfortunately, she is by far my best friend, but let's see if I can get her to do some things. I haven't really done much programming on her yet, but let's see the built-in behavior. Stand.
I can speak, but you already noticed that. I'm here to scutter deep line lead choices. Don't hesitate to ask questions.
Stand. I'm still learning to not mess with my inflection and just speak naturally. Let's give it one more try. Stand.
Sorry, I can't think of anything specific right now, but you can ask me questions.
It's just like a
River,
child. The more you
humanity
yell at it,
is
the less
safe.
it listens.
One more time. Stand. Stand.
Just a second.
Ah. I can do remote control over the internet, but I really wanted to show her responding to voice. So here we are.
Very cool. Yes.
I'll tell you, she's the first robot I've seen. I decided mine's a she because the 5,000 out there they all had boys' names, which really kind of bothered me because I think the voice is actually pretty feminine. So I decided that I named her River after River Song and River on Firefly. And they've really got it down to the point where she's not in the uncanny valley. Like you can see, I think she sways slightly. She doesn't just stand still. And she blinks, her version of blinking, right? Her LEDs and you see she just moved her head. Like she'll follow you around and twitch, and she'll turn to face you eventually. So I brought her to work and had her standing in a meeting with my colleagues and myself. It was great. She would turn to face the speaker, and then every once in a while she would do something interesting like yawn or stretch. So they've got the background behavior down, but they don't really have a lot of. I mean, it's meant to be a developer's kit, so they don't really have a lot of built-in behavior that's useful, at a high level, and that's why I got her. So my goal and my dream is, I had a friend who lost his vision, and it turned out, unfortunately, that I'm gonna let you see me because she's not doing anything interesting. There. Okay. So I had a friend who lost his vision, and he found out, unfortunately, that he hated dogs, which was a real problem because when you hate a guide dog, it knows it and it isn't very effective. So I thought, what if I could get a Turing test for service animals that a robot like this could pass, and it could go out walking with him, and it says, Peter, the light's red, and he says, I hate you. The robot doesn't really care. It's still going to do its job, whereas the dog, lost its training after a while because of the lack of emotional bonding. So that's my goal. I want to develop that kind of service animal behavior for her.
Wow, that's an interesting real-world application of the now.
Yeah, because right now all they do is play soccer, which is kind of interesting at first, but I can make children that play soccer and a lot better. Oh wait, let me see if I can get her. Sit.
Let's see.
How about a side-by-side comparison between this and the child you mentioned?
Oh, this wins over my child, I'm afraid. But of course, this will never leave the internet. What I just said. Let's see. I mean, it's funny because you see that the Robot Soccer League uses them, and recently Darwin Ops, and the idea. I mean, 5,000 of these learning to play soccer is kind of interesting. I understand it's a gateway application, but I still think it's advanced where they could be doing more. And like I said, the service animal thing really got to me. Also, I was thinking about service animals for people with like slight dementia who need help reminded to take their medication. And so you've got is a little service dog that can come up and say, take your pills, it's 1 o'clock. And if you say no, it's also a service animal with a built-in cell phone and cameras. So it can like call the right person and say, look, so-and-so isn't taking their medicine, or I haven't seen, so-and-so in 2 hours, I can't get into the bedroom. So I really think this could be a really good home health aid as well for people, who don't have a full-time need but just need a reminder of someone to watch over them.
Do you think in the future it would mainly just be one robot doing all of the tasks, though? Or multiple robots helping with, like, say, the walking task? Or, say, the remembering to take your medicine task?
See, I'd like to see, she's not quite there. Like, her hands aren't really large enough or articulate enough to do a lot of the things that you need done. But I think that she's really close, like the next generation or two. Could handle hard work. But what bothers me is, I'm going to switch back to me because she's just sleeping. But what really bothers me is I posted a survey on Google Plus just asking, what do you think this robot should do? It has limited mode. It has great senses, right? Like she has, microscopic, telescopic, infrared vision. But she has, Bart Simpson hands. So what do you think she should do? And people come up with the most ridiculous things, like she should mow my lawn, or she should wash the dishes. And I think, I would just buy 100 dishwashers for the same money. I would replace all my cabinets with dishwashers. So I think that she's good to be like the personal valet. She could do all of it, but there are things that it's just not well suited for, feats of strength or of reach that she can't do. But for that, I do think, like, more dishwashers is the answer, not a robot that can handle the dishes, which is kind of silly in my opinion. Or, mowing the lawn. Or one person said it should vacuum, if that's what Roombas are for. She shouldn't do that. But I do think if you get the expectations right, like the things that a home health aide is really needed for that you can't automate otherwise, I do think, Erin, that she could handle walking and the taking the pills and the put you to make sure you're in bed at night, etc. She could do all of that. If you just remember that she's like a very weak, small person. If you keep that in mind, like what would you trust someone who, wasn't very physically capable and maybe wasn't very, was 2 feet tall to do. I do think she could do all of that, though. She'd have to walk a little faster, but, she's almost there. She can walk like 2 miles an hour at the best clip. But, I mean, if you're someone who needs help, you might not walk faster than that yourself, so she might be suitable.
Wow, all right then.
Let me see. Let me get one more shot, because she does a great job standing.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, my robot just scared me.
Okay, here we go. Okay. River, stand. Stand.
Please wait.
And look how she does a great job, like even using her hands to get her to brace herself against the floor. Like they've really got all the motion and the balance down pat. Thank you, River. That was excellent. Presentation.
Let's talk about me. Just a second. Oh, I found it.
Presentation. Okay, you know what?
Hello, my name is Now. I'm a humanoid robot imagined and manufactured by Aldebaran Robotics. I'm wherein I'm fully programmable. I'm autonomous, and I can connect to the internet through Wi-Fi. I can recognize your face, answer your questions, play music, grab objects, and even play soccer like a pro.
There's that soccer thing.
I've more than 5,000 brothers and sisters and use all around the world in universities and research laboratories. Do you want more technical details?
Yes.
Yes. Counting every articulation in my body, I have 25 degrees of freedom. The sunars located on my torso allow me to detect obstacles that I might encounter. My 2 cameras give me an enlarged field of vision. Thanks to them, I can look right in front of me or at my feet, you know, to avoid walking where I should not. The 4 microphones around my head allow me to detect the origin of sounds nearby. Oh, while I think about it, there are 4 force-sensitive resistors under each of my feet. Combined with my inertial sensor, they help me keep my balance. I can use some lips to express various emotions and interact with you. And you, on the other hand, can use my tactile sensors on the head, for example, to pass me some information. Well, I guess that's enough for the moment. Thank you for listening to me.
You're very welcome.
Did we lose everybody?
Oh wow. Okay. So.
Did we just lose everybody?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I had a question for Raymond.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's back now. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
back.
Hey, Raymond, this is Mike. Can you hear me?
Hi, Mike. Yep.
Yeah, I was just interested in what you're saying. Are you saying that in the future you're going to have robots to do certain tasks? Because I really see in the future is you're going to have a robot that's going to do lots of things, and that's why, I mean, a lot of people are going to be able to afford a really nice humanoid servant robot, but if the robot can do everything for you or almost everything for you, then it can justify the cost. So I think you more have a robot, a jack of all trades robot, more than a.
See, I think it comes down to, like, if you look at, like, someone had pointed out, you'd need a robot strong enough with enough reach to, you know, wash and dry dishes. Well, maybe that's going to add another $4,000 to the price of a robot. For that much money, I could replace every one of my kitchen cabinets with a dishwasher. Like, it just, you know, it seems a little silly to make a jet, like, or vacuuming. There's a reason Roombas are small discs, right? Humans are really bad for vacuuming,
Well,
right? We hurt our backs.
Well, what I'm saying is you have a robot, you have a humanoid robot around 4 to 5 feet tall. They can use appliances. It can put dishes in a dishwasher. It can use a vacuum cleaner. It can drive a car. It can make food. I mean, it would be just like us, but it would be it would use our tools and instruments. Is what I'm saying.
But once the robot, the way I see it, once a robot's doing that instead of you, why would it use our tools? Like, humans are really badly built for vacuuming, right? We can't lift couches. We hurt our backs. A Roomba is a really good. So likewise, driving a car, I'd rather have a car that could drive itself. Like, I would just offload a lot of that because we don't have to do it. A lot of those tools were meant just to accommodate our forms. But once I can put, my car on the internet, or my refrigerator on the internet, or my dishwasher, I don't see a reason for there to be buttons that a humanoid robot has to hit with its hands.
So you would rather have like a separate robot for each task, but have
Yeah,
them
I just don't see how that's affordable for everybody to have a robot to do everything. Or I think a robot to do everything is what everybody's going to right now. Just look at the DARPA robotics challenge. They're creating a humanoid robot or facsimile of a humanoid robot that can do all the rescue tasks that a human firefighter or rescue officer person could do. So I'm just curious about
Right, and that's one class of thing. But a mundane task like vacuuming, for me to make a robot strong enough with enough reach to work the vacuum cleaner that was only built because humans had to operate it, seems really silly when you can make a Roomba for $200 that does a much better job than any humanoid could ever do, because it can slip under the couch and under the chair. And I think we've got to re-examine which tasks humans were good for, and which ones we were just forced to do, because there was nothing else.
Well, I mean, can't you just, I mean, it would be like anything. They design vacuum cleaners for human beings, and you can design a vacuum cleaner for a robot, for your personal home assistant robot. I'm just saying, to me, it looks like with the price of robots, and instead of having more and more robots in the house, if you have one, they can do all the tasks. It's more affordable,
right, but Mike,
and easier for people.
What's the difference between having a vacuum built for a robot to operate and just having a Roomba? You've still got this other thing, right?
But my point is that if you have one robot, if you have like 100 robots in your house, that's 100 robots that can break down. That's 100 robots that have to be manufactured and programmed. But if you have one robot that can do the task, I think it would be far cheaper and easier for people to have one robot in their house instead of 10 to 100.
Is it more likely to have if you have two robots, right? One is the Roomba and one...
Sorry?
Do you mind if I just interject here?
Sure.
So what happens when that one robot breaks down?
Well, see, my point is if you have one robot, because see, I'm a computer programmer, and in my my company, we have thousands of programs now to do all kinds of things. And what we found is that when you modify one program, sometimes you have to modify hundreds of them. So what you do is you make a subroutine. So that's what I'm saying is instead of having hundreds of robots in the household, you have one robot that you maintain and you buy and you upgrade and so on, instead of having all kinds of robots in your house that you have to build, maintain, and so on. I'm not saying it's a perfect solution. I'm just saying that to me, it makes more sense to have one than have the many in the household.
Well, actually, I would argue that the one robot complexity. I mean, I'm a programmer as well. I'm a software engineer, and complexity is what makes things break down as a rule. So that one robot can be much more complex and much more likely to break down than a bunch of things that are more specialized. Like a Roomba is going to be much more easy to debug than a robot that knows how to operate a vacuum cleaner.
But my point is that you've got a vacuum cleaner that you've got hundreds of vacuum cleaners and really good vacuum cleaners. Why not have a robot that can just use a vacuum cleaner that a human being uses? So if you can't do it,
what makes that vacuum cleaner good? Like, what makes it a good vacuum cleaner? It's a good fit for a human. I mean,
good. We're definitely going to disagree on this, but I think that you'll see that in the future, that I don't think you're going to see lots of robots. You're going to see a humanoid robot 4 to 5 feet tall that can do many things, because you see in the academic community and the makers of your now are making a 4 to 5 foot tall robot, assistant robot. They're not making lots of robots that do lots of small individual tasks. So even a company that builds for now does that.
They're also not assuming that robot will be operating a vacuum cleaner.
But they're working on a personal assistant robot, exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm saying we're going to disagree on this one, but
obviously,
I think talk to me in a couple months to a year from now, and I think you'll see that the future robotics is in a personal assistant robot.
And likewise, I'm going to say talk to me in a year, and I think you'll see that there's specialized robots and the personal assistant is more personal. So, like you said, agree to disagree.
Right.
Wow, what a debate. Robert, did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, I don't want to string this out longer, but I thought the vision of the robots in Fifth Element was probably what it's going to be. I think we're going to have a smart house that's going to control unintelligent robots, and I'm not going to buy a robot that can drive a car if I don't have a car. So there's going to be competition. There's going to be different brands. We're going to probably have a house controller and a controller we carry with us. That's going to, we're going to load with whatever options we want to buy.
All right. Well, the only way we were gonna tell is with the future coming. Yeah. Very, very cool discussion.
Sit.
Same to you, buddy.
Sit.
Please wait.
Alright, so Stephen in the chat is saying that he thinks there's going to be smarter appliances, so the distributed robot idea. Alright, well, this will be interesting, yeah, for sure. Okay, so, oh, and then he says he thinks there will be both. Okay, sure, you can choose both sides.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely a smart house with a robot, or maybe one or two robots that operate within the house makes sense to me. I mean, everybody's going to a smart house where all your appliances hooked up to your phone or your computer, and you can access them through the internet. That makes total sense.
Yeah. And plus you could have... Oh, go ahead.
I predict that half of them will be white and have an apple on them.
Yeah.
And that could get a little weird. But yeah, you could have like a robot sibling that's a part of your household, and then it can help manage all the distributed little robots around. That'd be cool. And it could tell you stories, maybe. Alright, so Robert, you mentioned you were working on your robot. Can we see it?
Well, I got a couple things. After the last party, oh, my cord's caught. After my last party, I made, where is it? There it is. The finger tester.
Nice.
Oh.
So that's the iMove finger test. Decided that the iMove is, some of the parts are too big for my printer, so I wouldn't be able to make one of those. What else? I'm using a different camera, so it's harder to think. I made a battery holder out of wood to let me play with some old portable phone batteries. Where is it? I think I dropped a piece. Oh, I did drop a piece. The finger tester is designed for standard side servos, so I made a adapter plate.
Cool.
That lets me mount a mini servo in a standard side servo hole. And then the big news is I got Robot Goldfish 2 to follow a line, so I'm going to put down the mic and pick up the camera and show you him following a line.
Great. Go Robot Goldfish 2.
Yes.
Sweet. Oh, now what is it gonna do? Oh, found it again! Yay!
Oh, my real goldfish can't do that. Who says evolution's so good?
Nice.
Very nice.
But that, I guess, makes him qualify for the one motor challenge, so I'll have to throw him in that.
Sweet. So is this a challenge on Let's Make Robots?
Yeah, it was, for some reason, I keep finally building robots I've wanted to build for a while, and then just after I'm just just about finished, somebody makes a contest that the robot would be perfect for.
Nice. That's what you gotta do. Cool. That's great that you got it to follow a line.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a little, like I've said before, it's using ATtiny 85. Barely using any of the code space at all, so I'm gonna have to find other things for it to do. I've got an extra pin in a text-to-speech module, so it might talk next time.
Nice.
Which text-to-speech module do you have?
Oh, hang on a second.
Probably the new
It's
one.
Parallax.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the eMic 2 text-to-speech.
I'd love to
Haven't
see that.
played with it yet.
I'd love to see if you get that working with a Tiny 85. I have a speech yet, and I've been too lazy to actually get it working with anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have more money to spend at Maker Faire than I have time to use the stuff I buy at Maker Faire.
I'm there with you. I'm building up a reserve of 3 lifetimes worth of materials.
Yeah, people hate us.
Who's going to Maker Faire New York?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I am. I may go both days. We haven't decided yet.
Cool.
Cool. I might go to it, but it depends. My robot was accepted for the innovation showcase at the new version of the Hardware Innovation Workshop. So.
Oh, the MakerCon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be at the MakerCon too with this little guy.
Nice. For the innovation workshop?
Yeah.
Or
On
the
Wednesday.
innovation thing?
Right.
Okay, so.
Sorry about interrupting there. I'm just curious who was going to Maker Faire and who was not.
So enlighten us with your innovation. Tell us all about your robots, Michael.
Oh, I have my 3 robots in front of me here. Well, actually, I have more. These are the ones that can fit in the camera. These are my 2 Darwin Minis right here.
Okay.
This one just right out of the box, and this one is my 3D printed version that I've been working on. I don't know if how much you follow me on. Everybody follows me on my blog and my Google Plus and so on. But my big thing is that I 3D print out or try to 3D print out as much of my robots as possible. For many reasons. I mean, I know that in some ways my robots who are 3D printed may not be as good as the production robots are, but I think 3D printing is kind of the wave of the future. And your ability to do better design and create robots, the power of 3D printing, I think, is just off the chart, especially as more get more materials we can print with, metals and harder and softer and cooler plastics. And as 3D printers get better, like the resin printers are coming out and the powder printers coming out, they're really awesome. But this guy's my other one. He's almost all 3D printed now. He's basically my version of the Bioloid humanoid robot. I don't know quite if I have room to make him walk around, but I've got videos out on my blog of him walking. And Shibata took videos of me at the Maker Faire Kansas City, having him walking around. But like I said, my big thing is just finding interesting and cooler ways and cheaper ways to assemble robots and try to make it easier for other people to do that too by open sourcing everything.
Sorry, has anybody here tried to print a Rapiro?
I started printing out a part, but I don't really have all the things to put it together, so I haven't printed out the entire robot.
A what robot?
Sorry, go ahead.
What is the robot?
Did you have any particular opinion?
You're talking about the Japanese robot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd see if I can find a link to the. He's got a Thingiverse site with all the parts out there.
Did you have any particular pain or joy printing out the Darwin Mini? Because I was thinking about doing that.
Really, the Darwin Mini was designed to be 3D printed out. The hardest part will be it's depending on your printer. The hardest part will be the head part and the body chest part because they take the longest. The walls are kind of thin. I don't know if your printer has support material or not, but that's kind of needed for especially for the head and for the body parts.
Do you recall how large a print bed you need? Because I only have a 6-inch cube on mine. I have a Printerbot Simple.
I have the up printer. My printing bed is 5.5 by 6 inches, so I can print out all the parts. So you should be able to print out all the parts.
Great. Now you've just taken away my next month of weekends. Perfect. My wife will be very happy.
The only problem with the Darwin right now is that it's probably cheaper to buy the kit itself and then print out the parts, because if you try to part everything out, it's going to be really hard to beat the $500 price, because the servos themselves are almost $22 and there's 16 of those plus your batteries and everything. You might be able to get a little cheaper than $500, but it's going to be difficult.
Is it are they like high torque metal servos?
No, they're the XL 320s. They're plastic gears, but they actually have a microcontroller in each servo. They're digital servos. They're daisy chained to the controller, so you just have to connect.
Oh, they're like the Link Motion ones. Okay.
Right. They're very similar to this guy's AX12s, but they're just a smaller form factor, a little cheaper. Like I said, they're plastic gears. This guy has metal gears in his servos, so they're like almost $50, and it's hard to see, but they're smaller form factor, and they're really nice servos for the price. Whether like I said, around $22, but nice holding torque. Especially you need that for humanoid applications. But yeah.
Sorry, totally interrupted. Sorry, keep going.
But like I said, the Robotis, the engineers that were designing this, they have a Replicator 2 in their office, so they printed out all the parts to make sure they were printable. So that's the nice thing about it. But like I said, but the drawback about it is it's probably hard to part it out right now. So it's open source, but you probably have to buy the kit for now.
Yeah, there's something to be said for economy of scale. They're buying parts for thousands, not for one.
It's the servos themselves too. They're probably I can't say that they're losing money on the servos, but because they manufacture the servos themselves, they can like you said, economy of scale. They can put the servos in the kit and save a little money there and other parts too. So.
I really like the one. The factory one looks a little like Astro Boy to me, so I wanted one just for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I got the sheet around there. His face and everything. They have a PDF that they actually have the stickers that come with the kit, but you have multiple faces, or you can they have blank circles and squares for the body parts, so you can draw and create your own expressions.
It almost reminds me of Manoid, the way that it's starting to look again.
Yeah.
Like, remember how Manoid sort of looked like this space humanoid creature thing? And yeah.
Yeah, they definitely went for the cuteness factor for the robot.
So how would you imagine, like, in the future, do you think there will be software that maybe you have written or someone else has written where you can, like, dynamically create this robot and then 3D print all the pieces that connect the servos together and the other pieces? Like,
are you talking like some kind of like a GUI software, or are you kind of like Iron Man where you just kind of move things around and put things together? Or?
I guess so. So say if you wanted to make a robot turtle instead of a humanoid, then how do you think people would go about that?
I mean, that's actually a good question, because when I talk to people, the biggest hurdle to somebody creating their own robot or 3D designing their robot is the software. Because, I mean, like the best software is like SolidWorks or Inventor.
Yeah.
And there's such a high learning curve on the software to learn it. I mean, you can create like what Autodesk 123 or Tinkercad, but people have to like sit down and learn the software. So yeah, that's kind of a hurdle for people. I mean, if you have something like an Iron Man kind of thing where you can move parts around and kind of shape parts and stuff visually, that might help people. But yeah, that's definitely in the future something that would be nice to have, especially if it's something that wasn't really expensive, like Inventor or SolidWorks, or something that doesn't have a really high learning curve to it. So I don't know. I probably didn't really answer your question, but yeah, that's definitely something that a lot of people have been thinking about and trying to come up with a nice interface for.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Well, thanks for showing your robots and explaining all of this.
Yeah, thanks for having Darwin Minis, because I've been looking at them for the last week, really wondering, and seeing you doing it's inspired me. I'm getting one.
Cool.
All right, so we have shown everyone's robots, right? Except for mine. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Cool. Well, so might be weird because my headphone cable isn't quite long enough for me to reach the robots. But here I have Clyde, which is a robot lamp, and I'm starting to sort of hack this. I actually have to rewrite a bit of the software, so I've been doing that this morning. And yeah, guess what? It hasn't been working. But anyway, I'll keep trying and see how it goes. Alright, this next robot is the one that I've most recently finished, and it's called the Automatic Food Slicer Robot. I showed a previous version of this before, and so now I can control it with gestures. Or not.
Observer-induced phenomenon.
The controller from Schrodinger controllers. Works until you try to use it.
It's the Heisen remote.
Alright, so like this gesture, I can move the gantry up, and with this gesture, it goes down. And then if I go like this, it can advance the robot forward, and like that backwards. And then just tapping right here, if the end effector was powered on, then it would start moving the end effector. But it's not powered on because I couldn't find the power supply in time. I still can't find it. Alright, is this it right here? Yeah.
So it could conceivably chase you around the kitchen waving a knife at you.
Yeah, I guess so. It's the main idea here is that if you have difficulties cutting food, then you could use a robot that's similar to this to help you. So the end goal is to have one that uses augmented reality on, say, an iPad, and then you could just swipe your finger across it, and then it would have it slice the food in reality. Hang on a second while I plug in the power supply. Okay. So now you can see the knife sort of tilts whenever I press. There. And so I tested this with Play-Doh, and it did cut it pretty well. So if I had more powerful motors, I think I could start cutting out bread, and so like cut the crusts off of bread or something like that. And behind this robot, the AFSR, is RoboBird. This is just the 3D printed one, but I added on felt. It looks all neat and pretty.
That is the happiest looking robot I have seen today.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's ow.
Are you still making your own controllers?
Sometimes, but not that often anymore. So the AFSR is just powered by an Arduino Mega, and inside of RoboBird is an Arduino Pro Mini, but I made a little breakout board for it for attaching all the servos and sensors.
Do you find that easier to use an Arduino that everybody uses, and then maybe like make a shield for it for your servos or whatever application you need for it?
I found it more cost effective at price break of 10. So you can pretty much make your own Arduino derivative if you're buying at price break 100, but it still requires a lot of initial money to buy that quantity, especially if you have like 15 screw terminals. Then multiply that by 100 per board, and then it gets kind of expensive. So with the Arduino Pro Minis at $10 each, then it's a bit easier if I'm just like making one, which is usually the case, unfortunately. So yeah, just finished the AFSR robot and showed it at Maker Faire Ottawa. So that was pretty fun. It even has a cool badge there. So let's see. This is what the badge looked like. It was pretty awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all that I have. Does anyone else have anything? Other robot thoughts? Robots now.
Yeah, I actually have a question. Has anybody here have any experience with holonomic drives?
Like omni-wheel robots?
Yeah, or the Mecanum, yeah.
Not me. No.
Well, maybe next time I will, because I'm about to start building a. I'm going to try a 3 and then a 4-wheel version. I had an old Vex kit lying around. I want to try it. And I think the only downside I see is that it takes a lot more power to move the same space because they're not as efficient, although they're more flexible. So maybe in time for the next party, I'll have, if I get bored with Ribbon here, maybe I'll have one ready for us to see, or some war stories.
Cool.
I've got a question with 3D printing. When I do my design with SketchUp, and when I print it, I get a solid filled object. But if the design was done with SCAD and some of the stuff I download off the Thingiverse, it ends up a shell with just the wall but hollow inside. I'm using Slicer for the slicing, and I'm wondering is there something I'm doing wrong, or is it just the way it understands the STL files?
There's parameters in Slicer, as I recall. There are parameters that can say how solid the infill should be and what the pattern should be.
Well, I've got that set to make it entirely solid, and it's still giving me just a shell. It's like the adjustment adjusts what I get with SketchUp, but I just get the outside wall with SCAD.
Yeah.
I've heard many people having trouble with SketchUp and using it as a 3D design software. Just it's really difficult to create .stl files, So it could be some way in how SketchUp creates the file compared to other programs, because I've heard many people having issues with SketchUp.
But
oh
it's
wait,
SketchUp
actually, is
that's working.
your problem with SketchUp or with the SCAD ones? I thought it was OpenSCAD you're having problems with.
It's the OpenSCAD I'm having
Oh,
problems.
you have no problem with OpenSCAD?
Yeah, that's a new one to me.
I've heard of
Okay.
that problem before, and I have had it, and I don't really remember how I fixed it.
I think what I need, I think it might have to do with the STLs might not be closed properly, and so it thinks it's a cup shape rather than a
Right.
solid object.
Yeah, so you may want to check out Mesh Mixer by
Yes.
Autodesk, and then from there you can edit the mesh features. You can like paint onto it and then extrude that little area. Have you tried using NetFab to make it watertight?
Let me make some notes here. No, I haven't.
Okay.
There's a lot of cool tools on that the Autodesk 123D website, and where you can take your mesh or .stl file and check it out and then fix it and stuff.
Well, it gives me a couple places to go look. Thanks for the options.
Yeah, definitely check out NetFab.
Is it? What is 1, 2, 3 Ds? Oh, Mesh Mixer. It's the 123D Autodesk one.
Leave a comment somewhere, Robert, if you can't get it to work, and then we can all take a look at it a bit later.
Yeah, it's no hurry. I mean, I just got the bed finally leveled really well, and so I'm working. My big problem now is the models. It used to be the machine bed level.
Okay, yeah. Just get the bed leveled and then there will be an earthquake or something. Right, okay.
No, I suffer floods occasionally.
Alright, well, thank you everyone for joining in the robot party. Even, like, the robot party is so popular, even real birds enjoy the robot party. We're watching this bird trying to make a robot right now, obviously.
Yeah.
So is it true that robo-birds are actually just the Cybermen version of real birds?
I guess so.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone.
Alright. Goodbye, River. Now, robot. Alright, so thank you, Aaron, Michael, Raymond, Robert, Stephen for hanging out, and hopefully we'll see everyone at the next robot party. This was just a mini one, but join the Robot Party Rockstars group to stay up to date and get the notifications of when there will be a next one. So
Great.
thanks
Thank you for
everyone
having
who
me,
watched as well. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.